Welcome to the Prigya Arora Show, where we discuss law, innovation, and entrepreneurship with people who have been there and done that. My name is Prigya Arora, founder of PA Legal, an intellectual property law firm, and our guest for today is someone who is a specialist in the field of technical translation and patent translation. So, we are doing a very interesting topic around patent translation, and our guest is Mr. Ricardo Vivanco. Welcome, Ricardo, on the show.
Thank you very much, Priya. It's a pleasure to attend your show. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ricardo. So, Ricardo, we'll start with your life story and how did you become the person you are today? Specifically speaking, how do you entered into the field of patent translations?
I started in patent translation in 1992 as an assistant to the director of an international department in a big Spanish patent agency. And I was in charge, for example, with patent validation. Okay, and we used to validate some 1,500 to 2,000 patents per year. And as a patent, as a language, as a purchaser of language services, I noticed that was very, how can I say, as a patent filing coordinator, you were very subject to stress in terms of quality, the quality you received, the translation quality, and specifically the language service providers did not understand the challenge of complying with the meeting deadlines. So 3 years in 1995, we started our own business, and our philosophy was to sell not translation, but confidence, trust for our customers in terms of quality, deadline compliance, and specifically quality for patents, because it's difficult to understand the quality that patents demand. And since 1995, we had translated I calculate some 50,000 patents.
Wow.
Okay, we are specialized in patent translation and pharmaceutical translation. We don't offer services like literary translation. No, we are specialized in technical and specifically in patent translation.
Wow, Ricardo. So, Ricardo, I know this is a very interesting field, and patent translation in itself is, a field which is very close to my heart because being a patent attorney, I know if translations go wrong, then everything goes wrong. So, to begin with, can you tell us something about patent translations, what patent translations are, and what is the importance of patent translations?
Patent translation is important, I think, because you protect patent rights. I mean, you protect research and development. So, and in patent translation, it is important to be aware about the scope of protection. So that's why accuracy in patent translation is so important and requires a very special combination of experience, technical skills, the knowledge of the world of patent, to dominate the technical terminology, the patent terminology, what is called the patentees, the patent jargon, and a very strong sense of responsibility, because you cannot commit mistakes. And if you commit mistakes, you are committing some kind of treason to your client. So that's why I think the patent translation the patent translators, must understand the problems that the patent agent have to face. And many language service providers don't understand the world of patent translation. And that's why you can see tremendous mistakes. And you tell them, you are missing a comma. What's the matter with that? No, a comma can kill your patent. We will see that. We will see
Yes.
that later. And so the patent translation has the mission to be, it's an important part of the protection of the invention. And that's why patent translator has to be very responsible about his work. As I tell to the people I train, patent translation doesn't finish when you send the job to the customer. Patents have a life of 20 years. If you have done a very good job, okay, you can be relaxed. But a patent translation is like a dormant volcano. If job has mistakes, then you can pray. And of course, you can start to pray. And of course, you are failing to your client. And I think that's the nature of patent translation. And it's
Absolutely.
difficult to understand. And only a translator who understand the world of patents and understand why just a single mistake can alter the scope of protection, and then you can ruin the patent of your case.
Correct.
That's my view of the patent translation.
So very rightly said, Ricardo, translations are very crucial to patents. And as you said, a single mistake can lead to failure of getting a grant, changing scope of the invention. It could be multiple things. So can you give us any example where insignificant changes have made significant issues further down the line during the patent process?
Yes, for example, I have a case. One pharmaceutical company, a Swiss company, IPSA, against Israeli company Teva Pharmaceuticals. The patent went to the US court, and patent was invalidated just because the term semiliquid, semiliquido in Italian, and also semiliquido in Spanish was translated as half liquid instead of semi-liquid. And that was sufficient to invalidate the patent. For example, we also had many years ago also another case in which patent was invalidated because in the claims there was a confusion. They translated and or in the
Yes.
claims. So, of course, the result was a complete alteration of the scope of protection. Just one single mistake
Correct.
was the cause to invalidate the patent. And there is a famous, for example, a famous case, and many patent attorneys say the patent in which a single comma killed the patent,
Yes.
in which misplaced comma caused linguistic vaguity and also technical vaguity. And that's why it was invalidated too. So it's not a question of identifying big mistakes. In patent translation, a very small mistake can be catastrophic. And that's why a patent translator must be very aware that he must be very disciplined and very responsible for his or her job.
Yeah, Ricardo, I think
Yes.
like, small things, because patent drafting in itself very crucial. And then we have claims drafting, where simple things like even a and the is very, very important. Then as we just mentioned, comma, semicolon and full stop each has a different meaning than normal English language. So they need to be placed properly. So I think these are some common mistakes which people might do during translations. And do you think a translator should be aware of these things of patent drafting as well? Because a good patent can be translated only if somebody knows like what goes into drafting and what is the scope of the claim specifically.
That's why we strongly believe in our company that patent translations must be performed by skilled and person.
Yeah,
I mean, with background in chemistry and background in engineering, because okay, perhaps a translator who studied translation will not detect a problem, but an engineer um, will have much more chances to detect that, for
yes,
example, a comma is needed to explain better the characteristics that the patent drafter wants um, to disclose. No, so that's why we use. I don't mean that using technical translators will mean 100% efficiency
correct.
detecting mistakes, but it will help a lot.
Yeah,
Uh, I mean, we had many cases in which, for example, we started the translation and the engineer said, "Oh, there is nonsense here." So we checked with the client. Okay, we are detecting that if we translate literally, because one of the problems in patent translation is that you have to be literal. But in terms of patent literality,
correct.
okay, and so when it's possible to tell the client, we do it. Okay, can you explain? Because in this case, we think that a comma is necessary, and there is no comma. Okay, of course, when the patent is, for example, is for validation, it's published. We have to translate that way, and that's all.
Yeah.
But I think in patent translation must be performed by chemists, engineers, biologists, because they will have more chances to detect that something is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay?
And I agree to this point that it is absolutely important, so that a technological person or person who is aware of patent terms should do a translation. Why? Because as we just mentioned, drafting is the crux. Like what's written in the claim stays forever. And then we cannot make alterations in the terms used,
Mhm.
alterations in the scope of invention. So it is absolutely important that translations are done right.
Mhm.
So,
See,
yeah.
yeah, and just one, and also because one characteristic in patents and drafting is that you can find very large paragraphs, sometimes very, very large paragraphs,
Yes.
and with missing commas and missing um, points, etc. So
Mhm.
that's a difficult task for a translator. And
Mhm.
in that case, when it is possible to ask the client first, we prefer to ask.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. So, Ricardo, another thing is, because AI has been improving a lot these days, and there are chances that AI has been helping in translations as well. But how do you see the future of AI in the patent translation field? Like, is will there be a point where AI will take this, or do you still think that no, translation should be done manually and it is absolutely necessary?
Well, when I started in patent translation, the price per 100 words in the English to Spanish combination was $25 per 100 words.
Yeah.
That's gone. Finito. Okay? Thanks to technology, for example.
Yeah.
For example, priority translations of priority documents were done as new translations. No advantages for the client, like discount for repeated paragraphs, nothing. And also the time lapse given for the translator was 3 months, 1 month. That's
Yeah.
gone too. And now everything has to be for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Technology is here to stay. And we will be very blind if we don't see that. If we are losing our efforts in combating technology. Okay, no. I think that technology will be a very, very valuable tool for patent translators. I don't think technology is going to replace the translator, but I think it's going to be reinvent the role of the translator. He will become, or she will become an editor, a
Correct.
very specialized proofreader.
Yeah.
Of course, with very reasonable prices for the client, a very fast, flexible production rate for the client. Problem, there will be a very specific need for a very, very, very specialized and skilled editor proofreader. And that's my point of view.
That is absolutely correct, and I agree to it, because we have seen machine translations and AI, various kinds of translators, but in the end, a person is required to proofread it, to correct it, because that we cannot rely on that document, and even the courts would not rely on the document.
Yeah.
So they'll also rely on the certified copies. So I think you're absolutely correct. Like, a machine can help us to some extent, but small things like we just discussed, they have to be done manually, or at least proofreading and editing is required after a machine translation is done. So it can facilitate the process, make it faster, make it cost effective, but again, role of humans is not going anywhere.
Yes, I don't think so, because, and also, for example, as I told you, we agree that in patent drafting, it's very usual to find very large paragraphs,
Correct.
very, very large paragraphs. I saw, for example, from German to Spanish, a paragraph consisting of 1 page.
Yes.
1 page.
Yeah.
So how do you think the machine translation can deal with that in terms of quality? So that's why the human brain will be very necessary, but an engineer, a biologist, chemist, and that's the way we see it. And the risk we are observing right now is that, for example, artificial intelligence has improved so much, okay, but the risk of having theoretically correct translations is
Yes.
very very risky, sorry. We observe every day translations on the first site. Oh, this translation seems to be very good. Oh my God, I'm finished as a translator. But when you proceed to observe the pattern with a very deep sight, the panorama changed a lot in terms of terminology and context.
Correct.
Terrifically.
So, Ricardo, I want to ask an offbeat question here because that is the problem with which patent attorneys feel that again and again. So, for example, we get one translation done. How do we ensure that that quality is correct or not? Because we don't know a specific language. For example, I don't know Spanish. So, how can I ensure that the translation is correct, and the things like half solid and semi solid would not incur in that draft? So is there a way that I can check, maybe getting a machine translation again done and read it in English, whether English right is matches or not? But is there any way so that we can make sure that whatever the work translator has done, he has done it correctly?
Okay. For example, we use quality metrics. And I think that quality metrics right now are very important to control, to check the quality of machine translation.
Yeah.
Quality metrics, we decided to use quality metrics because many companies, many translation companies offers the advantages of they sell the advantages of their quality in terms of ISO 9001 and or ISO 1700 quality standards. Okay, but 1700 guarantees that your translation will be done by skilled translators and will be reviewed by skilled proofreaders. Okay, that's fine. But we feel that in patent translation, the word is our product. And we must guarantee our clients that the product is close to perfection because they need that. Okay, and we found a SAE G 2450 quality standard, which was created by the Society of American Engineers, and was created for controlling the quality in automotive translation. So that was perfect for us. That was perfect for us. And we let me show you. You see it, okay?
Yes.
So this is, for example, a matrix of quality control. The standard is based in 8 categories, from technical mistakes to minor mistakes.
Yeah.
And every technical, for example, each category has a minor or major degree of mistake. So, and there is a score of 100, and each mistake will penalize your theoretically 100 score. Then you use a randomized control. And so in our case, example, in this case, in this case, the score was 9950, but even that score was perfect or close to perfection, when we found 4 minor errors to correct. But the difference, just 1 point, can be catastrophic. So that's why we use quality metrics. And you can use quality metrics for any combination you need. For example, German to English, English to Spanish. So that allows us to guarantee our clients an average score of 90, 99.5 out of 100. And I
That's
think that that's really a must in patent translation,
wow.
because on just lower score of 98 will show lots of mistakes, technical mistakes, omissions, etc.
Yeah.
And in our case, quality metrics do their job,
Wow.
and our clients are very happy on about this, about the use of quality.
Fantastic. I think this is an amazing way to check whether our translations are close to whatever the first language is. And wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. So, Ricardo, now we'll come to a quick rapid fire round and I'll ask you a few questions. Answer these questions very quickly. So, we'll start with three things you are grateful for.
Grateful for wife, because she is my partner also in the company, my best friend, and she was very supportive since around 40 years ago.
Wow.
And she has been my 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 column, because I had um, second the second one is to be thankful, to have the capacity to overcome adversity. I had a very traumatic accident 36 years ago, and I had neurological complications. And instead of lying in bed, I wear crutches since 35 years, 35 years ago. But nature gives you what it takes in other fields. So I, I'm thankful for having courage. And it's very strange to say that I thank the accident, because it allowed me to discover other things that I didn't know that I have. Okay, and
Wonderful.
and I and 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 the three. Let me think. My job. I mean, to have the opportunity to work in patent translation and with patent attorneys in patent world, there is so diversity and so new things to discover every day about technology, about strategies. You must be aware of everything: culture, international affairs, law, technology, chemistry, everything. So, so you must be curious, and I discovered many valuable people in patent world. And for example, when I started, I had three mentors, and one showed me the importance of quality. The other one showed me the importance of being very resilient and pragmatical. You must know you have to respond to the client now, because the client needs to know that everything is under control, for
Mm.
example. And the other one was is a colleague who was very concerned about quality, and he also encouraged me to keep going, not to not to say I'm done. And
Yeah.
that's the three things that I think that I am thankful.
Wonderful, Ricardo. Your journey is so inspiring. We'll complete this and then I'll say something about you. So, two traits that you think are useful for an innovator.
Patience. patience. If you see your business with short in a short term, I think you can um, adopt wrong decisions. You
Yeah.
must be very patient. And the second, enjoy your job.
Wow, patience
Enjoy
and
your,
enjoy.
yes, enjoy your job because if you don't enjoy your job, you can gain the trust of your
Yeah,
I think that will be my recommendations in terms of my
amazing,
experience.
amazing. And one aspiration you have for the future.
Uh, be able to understand the changes
Mhm.
that are coming with this new world, this new technology. Technology is changing so fast. Uh, Chat GPT or the
Yeah.
changes are so overwhelming that I am afraid that at some point I will not be able to understand what's going on, and I I need to understand how is the world going right now, and it's easy to get lost in the middle of the road. So I will be very happy to to be capable to understand what is going on and how I can play in with new technologies.
Wow. And Ricardo, lastly, would you like to share some key takeaways with our audience?
I will, yes, I want to thank you. Thank you for the marvelous job you are doing with disclosing the world of patents for everyone. I think it's important because it's many people does not understand what uh, patent world, what's the utility of patents, patent translation, why patents are necessary, why IP must be respected because it's the job of many people. I mean, we are protecting research and development, and right now many people they don't appreciate the world of creation and they think they don't think that everything must be free for free, for example in with music. And I think that patent but the world of patents is crucial, is strategic, and I think it's marvelous to see you disclosing a patent culture. I'm very pleased to participate in your show, and of course, you can count with me for any events you. And sorry for my English. I am
That-
used to read in English more than to speak in English.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know because you are from the field of translation and English is not your first language. So I absolutely understand this. But Ricardo, from the bottom of my heart, I really want to thank you. Your journey is super inspiring. You are inspiring a lot of people. And I still remember the first time I met you. I think around that time I started my journey, and you were first one of my initial connects on LinkedIn, and probably in a conference we met, and we started interacting, and since from that day we have been in touch. Thank you so much for your time, for inspiring so many people around you, and for working in this field. And yeah, I can just thank you. I do not have words, any other words to say about you.
Okay, thanks to you. My sincere thanks to you, Priya, because young people like you are facing very strong challenges in a global world, and you are um, advancing and advancing and advancing, and and you have your work, but also you take your time to create your podcast, your show, and it's very important because you are creating a new culture for young people to understand the world of patents, professionals to understand why patents are necessary, the big efforts that are behind the super skilled teams that are working for the sake of quality in patent drafting, patent preservation, patent defense, etc., etc. So I will be very pleased to cooperate with you whenever you need. Thank you very much for you too.
Perfect. I
Okay,
hope to work with you very, very soon. Thank you so much,
I
Ricardo.
hope you. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Frida.
Hey there, thank you for attending today's session. If you enjoyed the session, do follow our channel and consider sharing it with a friend. My name is Pragya Arora, daughter of inspiring parents, alumna of IIT Kharagpur, engineer turned lawyer and entrepreneur, and now founder of PA Legal, where we help creators and innovators protect their intellectual property. Thank you.